Georges. Have we met?
I gotta say, Andy had the place looking much better.
Oh, you're the operative, the one that killed him.
No.
On second thought,
We come in peace. We just want to find the daughter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maddox's daughter, Wilson Maddox. The politician that cost you guys billions.
Oh, that Maddox. Well, Maddox wants his daughter back. He's gonna have to drop out of the race. I don't make the rules, and I certainly don't bend them.
Who makes the rules?
This is a business, Cooper. The people at the top stay hidden. Whoa, what's this? What happened to peace?
You have 5 seconds to tell us where the girl is.
Over my dead.
Damn, that's crazy. I wasn't actually gonna shoot him.
First and foremost, I just want to say welcome back to the YouknoShow. Today, I know the setup looks different, but we're trying something new, and I think, well, it's something I will personally enjoy, and I think everybody who watches or listens will also enjoy. But we're doing interviews now, and today I'm with the talented, the creative.
What's up, y'all? My name is Chris Kai. I'm a film student here at the University of Alabama. I'm a senior in creative media, and I'm planning on working on an MBA after that. And yeah, I've been here for 3 years, and
So yeah, with Chris Kai, he's as he said, he's a filmmaker, and
short films. Working on a longer version of a film. So yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Dude, that's honestly, God, that's dope as fuck. Like personally, to me, I can't lie.
Yeah.
That's really one of the reasons why I wanted, I guess, sit down and have a conversation with you and interview you or whatnot.
For sure.
Mostly because I don't know. I think it's really cool when people can take their ideas, especially like when it comes to filmmaking and whatnot, and are able to portray it on the big screen and be fully confident in the message or just the vision that they had for it. Like that's really cool. I can't lie to you. But before we hop into the spiritual and the questions and all that, just let y'all know today we're playing Jumbling Tower. Because Jenga was $16, so we're gonna have fun with Jumbling Tower, and we're gonna have a great conversation involving movies and just creativity as a whole. But first and foremost, I guess the first question I'm gonna ask you is, what do you define as creativity?
I think creativity is the ability to, I know create isn't the word creativity, but just create things that are unique and not bland, And for me, what creativity means is being able to, something that I try to pride myself on with my content is being able to portray things that are culturally relevant to my experiences and people's experiences who are like me. So my goal is to create films that portray Black people in a positive light and not in a stereotypical role. So for me, that's my form of what I feel like creativity is for me, and
Dude, I like that, especially the part where you said about how you aim to. Oh, you feel free to go away.
Okay. Yeah.
I like how you said that you aim to give Black people a more positive light when it comes to movies or whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you about I can see why you want to do that, because I will say a lot of I guess the way that Black people are portrayed in Hollywood, it's not really the best for us. I don't think so. How do you feel about Tyler Perry?
I feel like I don't really watch as much Tyler Perry as I did when I was younger. I used to. I think I like him as a comedy filmmaker. I think when it comes to the stuff he makes for BET, that's not really for me. With the shows he has, but yeah, I like his earlier work from more a comedy perspective. But yeah, I think he's in a sense he's paving the way for Black filmmakers, even Black filmmakers who aren't necessarily in the comedy realm of things, but he's one of the first to have his own studio and everything like that. So I appreciate those parts about him for sure. Okay. Because it's inspiring. It's inspiring to see like if he can do it, then more of us can do it. You know.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I like I like that mindset for real. Especially I also like the fact that that you have a lot you have a lot of positive things to say about Tyler Perry. Only because like I know in like on social media or in the media at least how a lot of people think of Tyler Perry isn't really that positive. I feel like people kind of skip over his accomplishments.
Yeah.
And the his contributions to black filmmaking or filmmaking for black people and that's why I say I like that. I feel like people kind of get lost in like all the bad or like the negatives about certain things mostly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But let's see. On to the next one. What about what's your top 3 favorite movies?
My favorite movie. Okay, I'd say number 1 would definitely be Black Panther because I feel like that was the first time that I saw a real life superhero that looked like us and that was portrayed like in a positive light. And I love the way that they kind of played with the tropes of people thinking that black countries are automatically poor and illiterate, and so they kind of flipped that with Wakanda, and Wakanda was like this really futuristic, high-tech country that was run by black people, and so I really liked that concept. And then I loved Ryan Coogler's way of like posing the question, should Wakanda open up to the rest of the world, or should they, kind of keep their resources to themselves? So it kind of showed the sort of like paradox or like contradiction of utilitarianism of like choosing what's best for the greatest number of people. So I really like that film. So that's my number 1. Number 2, I would say They Clone Tyrone, probably for the same reasons. I feel like it plays with the tropes of like black people being ghetto or like illiterate or things like that. Because I like the way they played with that concept, and it was a funny movie. And then number 3, I would say would be Knives Out, just because it's just like a really good, really well written film.
It was awesome.
Knives Out. It's a mystery movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I fuck with the pits. I can't lie to you, especially the Black Panther one. Do you like? Well, 2 questions. One. Do you like? How you feel about Black Panther 2?
Black Panther 2. I didn't. It's not like on my top of all time list. I think it would have been hard for them to make a movie that satisfied everyone when your main actor dies, because that's just like an unfortunate thing. I think they did well with what they could do though, because like I said, I feel like a lot of people didn't like it, a lot of people liked it, but for the people who didn't like it, you gotta keep in mind that like they were making the film thinking that Chadwick Boseman was gonna be in the film, and then he passed away. So it's like, and then you're in the moment. Hindsight is 2020, but it's like at that point in time, what were you gonna do when your main actor has passed away?
Yeah, I agree with you. What about so you said something. So you had mentioned the message with Black Panther.
Yeah.
Is that like a message that how do you feel about that message? I guess that you get from it.
I love the message because like I said, I feel like it poses the question, or what I took from it, and I feel like different people can take different things. But what I took from it is that Ryan Coogler was kind of showing the contradiction of like how the whole idea of choosing the best thing for the most people, because like Wakanda wanted to keep its resources for itself, which in their mind was like the best idea for the best number of people. But then Eric Killmonger, even though he was a villain, I feel like he had some good points of like wanting to share resources with people who were oppressed.
Yeah.
It was just like his means of getting that were the thing that was violent, that had to be stopped. But I feel like it was a strong message, because when I left the theater, I still remember the message to this day. You know what I'm saying? So I love movies like that kind of like they ask you a question and you have to like really sit with that, and think about it, and even rewatch the film to like analyze it even more.
Oh yeah, I most definitely agree with you. I will say, as far as like, I guess your take on it, because personally I've never heard that. I've never heard like someone analyze Black Panther like that.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, I agree with you. Like, because I was thinking back to like all the symbolisms and like just things that they were doing, that was preaching and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like I really I really fuck with that analysis that you gave about it, and like I do agree with you as far as the whole. I guess as far as like with Killmonger, I agree with his message or like his cause, just not the way he went about it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, and plus I think another thing I liked about Black Panther was the fact that typically whenever movies have a villain, I feel like that has a point.
Yeah.
They don't really flesh out the point as being like an actual point.
Yeah.
Like, because in Black Panther, they didn't start sharing the resources at the end.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, yeah. So technically, Killmonger got what he wanted in a sense, and I like movies like that too, where like the villain doesn't necessarily lose. Like we get to connect with the villain and see like his point, but it's like more so like how they're trying to get the point. That's like the bad guy, not necessarily the point itself. You know, yeah, they did end up opening up to the world at the end.
Okay, wait. So, question. So, if you were if you were to write a villain, right?
Yeah.
Because I haven't got to the part where I ask you what type of movies you like making most. But if you were to write a villain, how would you go about writing a good villain that you feel satisfies the plot and the people watching?
I feel like the main thing about a villain, there's different ways you can do it. Because you can go like the crazy route, like with the Joker, or with Silva from James Bond is an example of that as well. Or you can go more so like the route that like a Black Panther did, or even like an Avengers Endgame with Thanos. I feel like for me, what I like best is writing a villain that like people can connect to when you show his backstory. His backstory that he's not necessarily a bad guy. It's just like, the things in his life have made him turn to this way of trying to get what he wants. So I feel like that's what, to me, will make a good villain.
I'm listening. I'm
you're good.
I'm listening. Cause
There you go.
But that I made it a lot harder than it had to be.
Yeah.
But I like. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I will say with writing a villain, especially when it comes to like, I feel like nowadays with superhero movies, I feel like they don't really flesh out the villain as much as they should. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Thor: Love and Thunder.
I haven't. People told me not to watch it, so I didn't watch it.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Because they got Christian Bale to play what's his name? Gore the God Butcher, and basically Gore the God Butcher. I'm a comics nerd, so I'm just let you know. Basically, Gore the God Butcher, he kills gods, and he uses like he's OP. And in the movie, we always got he's killing gods. He's a god killer. He's all powerful. But you really don't see him do shit like you don't see none of this stuff happen. It's just mentioned and it's just thrown away as like background noise.
Gotcha.
And I also feel like when you're writing a villain, you have to scale. I feel like you have to show the audience that okay, this is the villain. He can't really be like. It's a reason why only the protagonist can take him down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they kind of got to be intertwined. In some sense.
Cause I feel like like back to like example like Thor, Love and Thunder or whatever.
Yeah.
Like like I said, we get all these all powerful stuff, but he didn't kill a knowable god. He killed all the lower gods who, weren't that powerful. And then it's like when he fights Thor. Plus the ending sucked. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ending sucked because he got beat by a bunch of kids.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, like the power of friendship type of ending.
Yeah.
But let's see. Okay, so what type of movies do you like to make then? Like what's something like your passion tonight?
Right now I'm working on a spy/thriller film. I'm enjoying making that because it kind of speaks to like when I was younger. When I used to like comics as well, so it feels like I'm making a real life comic book. But I feel like at these different seasons in my life, I like different content better than others. Because I feel like a couple years ago, I was more so into maybe like drama, making drama films, or like romance. So I say at the moment, something like a thriller type of film would be my favorite to make so far.
So is there like I guess throughout like your processes, well, I guess specifically the one you're working on now.
Yeah.
Are there any movies or like any directors that inspired you, like in the midst of making this, or when you was coming up with ideas for it?
Yeah, I would say Brad Bird he directed The Incredibles, so I kind of look at The Incredibles as something that like I grew up with in a movie that I try to rewatch it every a couple of times every year because I just really like the storytelling there. Obviously Ryan Coogler, like we talked about, the guy who directed Black Panther and Creed. Um, Mark Webb, I like Mark Webb as well. He directed Tomorrowland, not yeah, Tomorrowland, and then The Amazing Spider-Man as well. He directed those two. But I have a lot of different directors that I kind of look up to. But I think I look up to more so like people who are, we call it in filmmaking auteur filmmakers, but people who are like involved in every single step of like the process, and you can kind of it's their film without even seeing the name at the end. Tyler Perry is technically an auteur filmmaker.
Wait,
But,
oh my bad. You finish, man.
Oh no. I was just gonna say like an auteur is just like almost like Quentin Tarantino. Like you watch their film and you know, oh, he made that film. You know?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I know with Tarantino,
Mhm.
doesn't majority, if not all of his movies, start off in like, aren't they all out of order in a way? Because
I haven't seen all of them, but the ones
okay.
that I have seen, yeah, they are kind of like they're not a linear timeline.
Okay, because I all right, bet I won. All right, we're gonna get around to rebuilding that. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But because the only movie I've seen by him, I've been meaning to watch more more movies by him because I mean that's I don't know. I feel like at the age I'm at right now, that's kind of what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But the only movie I've seen by him is Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, okay. That's really good.
One of my favorite movies. Can't lie to you.
Yeah.
And I was confused as fuck because it starts off in the middle, and well, technically in the middle.
Yeah.
And wait, hold up. I'm trying to think because I know when Samuel L. Jackson and John
Travolta.
Yes, John Travolta's character, they go and see the boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and am I remembering right there? That's the beginning, right?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I can't remember. I can't remember right now. I can't lie to you. But like, just know I watched the movie once and I honestly loved it.
Yeah.
But so I guess what's the hardest part? I guess about coming up with or like going through the process of creating a movie.
Well, there's three different like sections of the process of making a film. First is like writing the film itself, and then second will be production, which is filming it, and then third will be post production when you're editing. So it's like different struggles in each one. When you're writing the film, the struggle can low-key just be like, I don't know what to write, you know what I'm saying? Or like you write something and you're like, that's not good. Or you like, it happens a lot where you think something's good, you write it, and then you go to sleep and you wake up the next day and it's like, nah, this is terrible, you know? So I say the hard part in writing is just writing something that's good. That's why there's not a lot of like great movies necessarily. You might have like out of 5 movies, maybe 2 of them will be good, you know. And so that's probably why, because it's hard to write good content. You have to actually like sit with it and really fill it out to make something that's good. So that would be one of the hardest parts. Then also when you're filming, I say filming for me, I wouldn't say there's like a part that's like necessarily more difficult than other parts. But it all depends on like the location, really. So it might be harder to get some shots in certain locations. Like if a location is like really cramped, it might be hard to get good footage there. And then I guess with student filmmaking, probably the most difficult part is just scheduling, because if you're working with other students, people have really busy schedules. But I've been blessed to find people who have been really willing and like had schedules that lined up for this project. Like my DP for the project, the cinematographer, her name's Leah Pate, and she's been at like almost every shoot that we've had. And so, when you find good people like that are like that actually want to do this, then it makes it much easier.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so like, so for you, like, well, how do you go about like each step of the process, like personally, like what do you do that like makes it work for you, and so you get the best results that you want?
Yeah, I think the most important part is when you work on a project, it has to be a project that you actually want to make, and like a project that in the writing process, when you read the script, you actually enjoy that film. Because if you make a film, and I've made a film before where I like didn't really the script didn't really sit with me well, but I went ahead through and made it, and it just wasn't enjoyable. So I think the number one part is you have to make something that you enjoy, you know. And from there, when you make something that you enjoy, it doesn't really feel like a job or like you're working. It just feels like you're doing your passion, you know. So when I approach it, I try to approach it from a sense of like I'm a little kid and I'm writing a comic book like that, because that's really what it feels like when you make something that you enjoy. You feel like you're a kid again, and you're like drawing or painting, but with a camera, and instead of pencils, you have like actors for acting things up. You know.
Oh yeah, most dude, I like that. I like that. That's a I don't know. I think that's a really good mindset to have. As far as I guess like whenever you're actively doing your craft for like always having like a positive outlook and just doing things that you enjoy with it.
Yeah.
And while also being, I guess, kind of real with yourself.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I know, at least with me personally, like that's just something that I that I struggle with like, not with the podcast or nothing like that. It's just like I just know other aspects of my life whenever I have like a negative outlook on it as something like I don't want to do, something that doesn't bring me joy.
Yeah.
It's not getting done. I can't.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I want to go back to this because I was meaning to ask you this.
Yeah.
What was that term you use for directors who are like always
auteur, an auteur director.
Auteur?
Auteur.
Auteur?
AUTEUR, I think.
Okay. I have a speech impediment, so I ain't gonna try to pronounce that one. But okay, for one, would James Gunn be considered one of those?
I feel like he is, because like with Suicide Squad, because he directed the Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. I think he directed that movie, and he directed that movie, and then Guardians of the Galaxy and Superman. You can all kind of tell like they're all directed by the same person. He has that sort of like, I don't want to use the word goofy, but like it's like very lighthearted.
I know what you mean.
And there's like kind of like raw comedy in it. So I would definitely consider him an auteur, a modern day like auteur. Yeah.
Okay, so another question relating to that, is that something you try to go for with your films?
Yeah. I try not to be like over the top with it, like try to make everything the same. But I do try to put my like my footprint and everything that I do. But mainly at this point, it's just trying to hold up like a standard of like having good quality films that, like I said, represent African Americans like in a good light. So that's where I'm approaching it from when I say like auteur for me.
That's dope, man. I will say that was something I noticed at least. Look, I promise you, I was trying to go through like all your things and, like watch them just so I get an idea of how your films are and whatnot.
Yeah.
But every day before Thursday has been crazy. But the one that I did not watch fully, I remember. Well, no, I won't say fully, but I watched halfway through it, and it was funny as fuck. I promise you, I thought it was funny as fuck.
Yeah.
It was the university one. Batson University. I don't mispronounce it.
Yeah.
That one was really funny because I like it. I don't know, the humor just resonates well with me. Like I like to laugh a lot, and I don't know, I just like the dry humor in a way. Like because I told you before we started recording, it reminds me of like Vince Staples or Donald Glover. That's who you're. I guess like the flair you put on it as far as the comedy goes. That's what it reminds me of. And personally, it's something I fuck with, and I really think all of you who are watching this will fuck with it also. So give my boy channel a look. It's gonna be in the description.
Yeah, CMW Productions, and we're also having an event for like our film showcase for the film that we worked on this semester. It's gonna be Thursday, November 20th at 6:45 p.m. So at Gorgeous Library in the Camellia Room. It's on the second floor. So pull up if you can.
Hey, y'all be there. You said when is it?
It's the week before Thanksgiving, so that Thursday night.
I will most definitely be there, man, and I will most definitely help you promote it too.
Yeah.
But Okay, so I guess I gotta ask you. So, like, what got you into wanting to be a filmmaker, or you know, what got you on this path that you're on right now, man?
Well, when I was little, I used to. I think I mentioned it a couple of times, but I used to write comics when I was little, and then when I got to like ninth grade, well not ninth grade, when I got to be like 9 years old, my uncle and my aunt, they actually like made some films, and so that kind of inspired me. I was like, if they can do it, I think I can do it. So it really became this thing of just like trying to bring my comics to life. Cause like when I did write the comics, I would go to school, and like I had this whole business where I would like sell them for like 25 cents to my classmates. So at that point, it became about like, okay, I want to bring these comic books to life, and so I got my brothers and sisters together, and then a couple of my cousins, and then I was like, let's make a film, and I did it the first time, and I was like, I really enjoy this because it feels like I'm writing a comic, but it feels like it's just like a different medium that's more interactive because you get to work with more people, and it's not just you um, solo, you know, telling the story. It's other people involved, and so it kind of went from there. I started making more films, and then saved up to get a camera, and then everything like that, and now here we are. You know.
Yeah, that's dope, especially the part about you writing comics because my older brother he's an aspiring cartoonist at the moment. So like my whole life he's always drawn comics or different things like that. I've always thought that was like one of the coolest things personally.
That's what's up.
So like okay, so that's dope. So like, what's your like? Where do you hope to go as far as you know along the journey of being a filmmaker? Like, what's your dream? I guess.
I definitely want to get to the point, which I know it's going to take a minute to get there, but to the point where I make films that are, you know, shown across screens across America. That's the dream. You know, like I said, Ryan Coogler, people like him, I look up to him, and I want to make films that are that have cultural depth to them and that are shown across, you know, America. So that's like the end goal, and I'm gonna have to work to get up to that point, you know. But hopefully, like you'll go to the theaters one day and you'll see films that we worked on. You know, some of your classmates that were in film that we worked on together. So that's the goal.
Hey man, look, all I'm saying is you're on the way there, cuz like you know like I told you off camera, like don't you just really just not you gotta meet the right person with the right give you the right opportunity. That's really all you need, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Because like trust me, man, like it's impressive. Like trust me, coming from me, like it's impressive as fuck, and like I actually mean that. Like it's really impressive as fuck that you know that like I said before that you could take your imagination or what your view or you know vision or something and put it on the big screen, put it on like a screen, and publish it because like a lot of people do not do that, like which is you know kind of crazy, and I think it just says a lot about you and you know as a person and as a person in your craft because I know for a fact it takes dedication, patience, trial and error, and just having faith that stuff is gonna work out, and just doing with what you have, man. Like it's really impressive. Trust me.
I appreciate it, man.
So let's see. So what's your main critique of movies that are released nowadays?
My main critique, I feel like they just kind of like rush the movies because at this point, well, what I'm learning in class is that they're trying to produce as many episodes and as many, well not episodes, but like as many long form films as possible, but they're trying to make the writers write it in as little time as possible so that they can pay them less. So I feel like that's probably the main problem stems from the writing because some films just aren't good just because it feels like the script was never fully finished. You know, I've been in that situation myself where I made a film based off of a script that wasn't like fully finished and that wasn't as good as my other projects. So I feel like that's the root of the problem is like the scripts aren't that good because they're not spending enough time on them. But I would say this year I did see a lot of good films though. I enjoyed the Fantastic Four movie. I enjoyed the Final Destinations movie. I enjoyed the Superman movie too. It was pretty entertaining. So I feel like this year was a little bit better than last year because there weren't like that many great films last year, which that kind of stemmed from like the writer's strike from the years before, if you remember.
Yeah, 2020, was it 2023?
Yeah, it was 2022. 22 through 23. Yeah, I think it ended in 23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's probably why though, because of that strike. We did have like a stretch where the content wasn't at. What did you already go?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay, I'm tripping.
No, you good.
We did have a stretch where the content wasn't as great, but everything, like if something's bad, most of the time it stems from the writing. Because I feel like we can get over any obstacles when it comes to like quality, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I most definitely agree with you about that last part. I will say, I'm just gonna use that example of, I guess one of my main critiques, because I like to watch movies, especially if it's like something interesting.
Yeah.
For this example, I'm gonna use Him, because that was a movie I really was looking forward to seeing, only because I felt like you could.
Yeah.
I feel like the premise of football, injury, and like a Satanistic cult, or whatever message they was trying to portray behind it.
Yeah.
I feel like those three things can make for a good film because of the fact that, I mean, it kind of like a lot of stuff rears its head in real life, so subtly. A lot of people don't really realize it.
Yeah.
But okay, so with Him, the main problem I had was I felt like there was too many topics or messages introduced that weren't expanded upon.
Yeah, so it was like surface level.
Yeah, well, I really want to say surface level, because like a lot of they just didn't do nothing with it. Like after watching the movie, I really didn't know what the central meaning of it was.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's come from the fact that I really interpret it as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like for example, one scene is one plot point they introduce is how the NFL kind of uses their players even when they're injured. How even when you're injured, you still gotta do all this, that, and third.
Yeah.
Or how you gotta you basically know what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. In the movie, they introduced that as like the central point of like why he's doing all this stuff, and like why he has to, because he gets attacked or whatever.
Right.
And they ain't go nowhere with that. Instead, it changes into a whole bunch of Satanistic stuff that also doesn't really go anywhere as it is. Well, no, I take it back. It went somewhere. I will say that's probably the only plot point that's really consistent throughout the movie is the Satanistic stuff, and like how everything goes back, I guess, to Satanistic rituals or just weird stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you feel like it just wasn't a good film though, or?
I want to say it wasn't a good film because the acting was superb. Like Marlon Wayans. Yeah. Marlon Wayans did his thing, and the dude who played the main character, I'm bad with memory, so I don't really know his name. Yeah, I don't know his name, but I do know the acting was really superb. Like I really messed with the acting. I just feel like the amount of messages and what they advertised it to be just didn't really live up, I guess, to my own expectations. Yeah. Which is understandable. I mean, we all have different expectations for different things. I mean, like I love Sinners, but there's a lot of people who don't like Sinners, believe it or not. Yeah. So it's just one of those. I feel like it's just one of those things where I feel like if you're gonna include like a central message, I feel like the other things you include should all tie back to that, not go in their own separate directions. Yeah. Because I also feel like Ryan was kind of lazy before, like at the end of the movie, because I kind of figured out what was going on in the movie, and their reasoning for a lot of stuff just didn't make sense to me. Like,
that might be an example of a movie where they like kept changing the script while filming, because that happens in a lot of modern day movies.
True.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, a lot of the movies, even like a lot of these superhero movies, even like some of your favorite movies, probably like Iron Man, they didn't really finish that script. They were just like making it up as they went. Which they have writers that like they'll hire to, we need this scene, but we don't know what needs to happen, like that. But a lot of these films, they don't actually finish the script beforehand before they start filming. They're still changing stuff all the time,
Now that you mentioned that, when I think about it, I'm a huge Transformers fan. Okay. So just know I've seen a good bit of Michael Bay's films. Yeah. Michael Bay definitely has done some shit like that before when he most definitely filmed those movies, because I don't know if you've ever watched them or if any of y'all ever watched a Transformers flick. Those bitches are long as hell. Like they're at least 2 hours. Yeah, they are. Revenge of the Fallen 3, Dinner 3, if I'm not mistaken. So those are some long ass movies. So that makes sense why writing is.
You can tell the difference between have you watched the movie Bumblebee before?
Yeah, most definitely.
You can tell the difference between Bumblebee and like a movie like Dark of the Moon. Dark of the Moon. Yeah, I definitely feel like they were probably like adjusting the script while they were filming. But Bumblebee felt like a coherent story with themes. You know what I'm saying? Like So that would be a film I'd say. Bumblebee, they probably had the full script before it got greenlit. And didn't change anything about it.
I most definitely like believe that because I will say Dark of the Moon, the script. I know now I think about it, the script did change because the ending got leaked. The original ending got leaked, so they had kind of do a 180, which is why like a lot of Ironhide, the black one, why he died really.
Yeah, because that's the one where they killed Optimus Prime killed
Sentinel. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean, I will say Dark and Moons are my favorite movies, but I want to say just from a nostalgic point of view.
I think for me that was the best Transformer movie, but I definitely could tell that it wasn't coherent all the way with the writing, but it was still pretty cool though.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I will. Oh yeah, another critique I guess I have, but this is really about like all movies. This is just movies based upon like source material.
Yeah.
Personally, I really dislike it whenever I guess directors or movie companies or writers don't really cater to the fans of a lot of like. So like for example, I'm just gonna use Harry Potter.
Okay.
The Harry Potter books are really fucking good.
Yeah.
The movies are good, yes, but in my opinion, they could be a lot better.
Yeah.
And I understand when Harry Potter came out, like diversity was really like a huge thing, or like it focuses on the three main people. Yeah. But I will say, like in the books, the side characters did like compared to the books and the movies, they cut out like a lot of contributions that the side characters kind of had to like Harry's journey. Like in Goblet of Fire, Harry's worried about getting a girlfriend, right?
Right.
And in like he ends off the movie with I think it was an Asian girl.
Yeah.
Next movie, he's married to Ron's sister, or he was getting with his sister.
Oh, so it's just like
it just kind of
And I feel that though. I do feel like there's a balance. You gotta definitely cater to the fans at some point. But I feel like a movie that did this would be the last Spider-Man movie that they just made, where they brought back
the three.
Yeah. So I definitely feel like you gotta definitely treat your fans at some point. When you have like a cinematic franchise like that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I also think with Marvel, I feel like a big part of Marvel's recent downfall is the fact that I take it back. Like recently, they've been putting out some heat. They've been putting out some heat. Yeah. If you ever seen Marvel Zombies, check it out.
I haven't watched a Marvel movie in like a year.
I will say
Fantastic Four was fire though. I think that was fire.
Yeah, Fantastic Four. The visuals were really good. I just wish it was a longer movie. Personally,
yeah, it is short. It's really short.
Yeah, it's short. I like that over Superman. I like Superman over Fantastic Four though personally.
Okay.
But I will say like I don't know. Like with Marvel, right? The whole thing came from the fact that comics are popular.
Right.
So you would think that a lot of stuff they put out or produce would be based upon the comics, and they would like. I can understand if you was making these characters up as you go. Yeah. But come on, like certain characters shouldn't be acting a certain way. I feel like.
How do you feel about them casting Robert Downey Jr. for Dr. Doom? Because I know in the comics technically he was supposed to be the like white African man.
Yeah. Okay, so like, despite Tropical Thunder, I like Robert Downey Jr. as an actor. I think he's a really talented actor. I feel like Marvel really crashed and burned, and I feel like he was just hired just to please everybody, or because people are going to pay to see Robert Downey Jr. in a Marvel movie. I feel like more likely they would any other actor, and I feel like he's the most home run actor who can kind of pick apart. For sure. Also considering the fact that one of his variants is apparently now I'm thinking of Kang. But I mean, if they do it the right way and the writing is really good, it's gonna be a home run of a performance. I feel like.
Yeah.
But personally, I would like to see the Kang dynasty play out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only because I like Jonathan Majors as an actor. He's a really good actor. I like
Yeah.
he can portray like a whole bunch of personas, personalities, and characters.
Oh yeah.
And
He's one of the best.
Yeah, and like he really gets into it, especially like his characters are like socially awkward but smart as fuck.
Yeah.
He plays them too well.
Yeah.
I would like to see the Kang dynasty play out, mostly because I mean, I'll be lying if I didn't say this. It's always uplifting to see a brother on the big screen making
for sure.
like in a big time film. That is always uplifting like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I would love to see him that whole thing play out, but you know, I mean, you can't control like what happens.
Circumstances.
Yeah, so I mean, overall, I think it was a good hire. I low-key thought they would go with the dude, the light-skinned dude from Breaking Bad. You know what I'm talking about?
No, not off the top of my head.
Have you seen The Boys?
I've only seen clips. I haven't watched like fully Breaking Bad or The Boys. But if you show me what he looked like, I might know.
Because I haven't seen Breaking Bad. I just know he was in Breaking Bad.
Gotcha.
Tyrus Kid.
They used him though already. They used him in. He was in
New Captain America movie. Yeah. I
He's
thought
a good actor though. He's a good actor.
most definitely he's a really good
They
actor.
they didn't use him enough in that movie. He was only there for like 4 or 5 scenes.
That's another thing. Marvel's kind of cheap with the people that they don't have on the contract for movies. I feel like I said before, that Christian Bale for the Thor movie.
Yeah.
He only had like 10 minutes of screen time throughout the whole movie.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like majority of screen time came at the beginning and at the end.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I said my main complaint with was like.
I feel like when you got like really good actors, you got to lean on them. Almost like when you have a really good football player, like a Lamar Jackson or somebody, you give them the ball. You know, that's how I feel.
No, like
you want your most talented person to have the most screen time. To be honest.
Oh yeah, no, like I most definitely agree with you about that because like I feel like whenever studios kind of waste like a really like an actual good actor, then it kind of like it hinders, you know.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating. I feel like because like a lot of people you could just put them into any role. I feel like and they can flourish. Like I feel like
yeah, for sure.
I feel like you can do that with Michael B. Jordan, for example. Like I would say his acting has came a long way because when I heard about the Sinners movie before it came out, one of the main things I was worried about was, you know, can he portray 2 different people?
Yeah.
And he played the fuck out both of them roles, so you know he got my respect.
For sure.
But okay, so you know, I guess with the process of creation, right, or you know, creating things, I know for a fact because it's something I struggle with also sometimes, I still struggle with. But do you struggle with any insecurities, or do you feel as if there's anything holding you back, or you know, have you ever felt like that way throughout your whole process?
Like something holding me back. I feel like just like in general, which is sort of broad, but like I feel like I definitely think we all have some sort of like fear of something, and definitely like for me, which I kind of explore this in this film too. I feel like my biggest I guess I can use the word fear. It's just like I'm scared of failure. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so like specifically with my career, because I know that in the film business, it's not like a straight shot to the top. You know what I'm saying? You can't just like be good at making films and then you all of a sudden are making multi-million-dollar films for these big studios. You know, you might go to LA and be a great director, but nobody knows, and you're never gonna get that opportunity. So I guess that's the biggest. That would be the biggest fear, you know, for me. It's almost like the boogeyman, like the thing that keeps you up at night. So really, just trying to like prepare for when I'm not in college, trying to get to where I want to be, you know, because there's not, like I said, there's not a straight shot to where I want to be at the end when I'm deep into my career. So I guess that's that's the thing that I always think about is like, um, what if it doesn't go the way I think it will go or the way I want it to go? So, and the way I just like try to address that is just like try to trust in God. You know, I feel like God didn't give me this passion for no reason, or He didn't give me this the skills that I've learned. You know, with editing, with making content, or the talents that He's given me for no reason. You know, so just trying to trust and in the process. You know.
That's real, man. That's a real ass answer. That's real. Like, trust me, I most definitely relate to you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely, especially the being afraid of failure part.
Yeah.
I feel like that's I know personally that's the issue that holds me back because that's what keeps me from being, I guess, more consistent with my craft personally.
Yeah.
Is the fact that is that like, I mean, I think it's normal to be afraid of failure.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
it's normal being afraid of failure. I just think and for anybody who's watching this, if this helps you, if you're afraid of failure, sometimes you just gotta do something. If it blows up in your face, at least you can say you put you put your best foot forward and you 100% tried.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I think it also comes from, like you said earlier, finding joy in doing something.
Right.
Because I feel like ultimately, if you're doing a passion, if money wasn't as important as it is,
Yeah.
if you're doing something like you love and you're happy for it, then the joy and happiness you get from that is all you really need. I feel
Right.
like.
Yeah. Yeah, because money is the main thing that makes people like stress. I feel like, especially people our age, because like think about it, we're gonna be in 2 or 3 years, we're gonna be out there like we gotta make money for ourselves, So that's the big, I guess the scariest part, And then there's also the other factors like some of these jobs will be replaced by AI forever, So it's like everything's just gonna become more competitive, and there's gonna be just like a growing gap between the people who have jobs that are needed and the people who had these skills but they're replaced with AI,
Oh, I agree with you about that. I guess that goes perfectly with the next question.
Yeah.
So like, how do you feel about AI and like I guess billion or people who own AI trying make its way into Hollywood and whatnot?
I feel like for Hollywood, AI would be bad because make AI content you can just kind of tell when something's fake, and eventually it'll get to the point where you won't be able to really distinguish between real and fake, But what's up, bro? But you would still be able to tell like there's something just not human about it, because there's something about us humans like you can see the soul within our facial expressions, within our eyes, and that's something that I feel like AI would never be able to like truly mimic, But I know that for sure in the contracts that they have from this last strike, that was part of what they went on strike about, though. But for at least like the next 10 years, we won't have AI in like the writing process and everything like that. Like they have to like contractually use human writers. So maybe in 10 years we'll have this conversation again and it'll be different, because I see it from two different perspectives. From the business perspective, it's like, why would you not use the AI? Because if we pay 5 writers to write this film for us, we might have to pay each one $20,000, and that's $100,000. Or we can pay for a $50 a month subscription to AI programs, and for $50 we can get a whole script written. But I think humans will always win as far as when it comes to creating content that we feel connects with us, and then especially with like acting and everything like that. Like I just feel like you shouldn't replace human actors with AI, ethically speaking. But then I also feel like we'll be able to tell that, hey, that's not real, But there are other jobs though where like AI is just almost inevitable that it's gonna, because they don't have like the same ethical code that Hollywood has,
Yeah, most definitely. I was asking about the AI Hollywood thing mostly because I have been seeing like a lot of me personally. I'm a stickler for animation.
Yeah.
I love movies that are beautifully drawn. Like Studio Ghibli, stuff like that. I've been seeing like a lot of AI work of like just different animated films or shorts or whatnot, or just AI of different animated like containing different characters doing like different stuff. Like stupidest one I ever seen was fucking Yuji Ichidori from JJ. You ever seen JJK?
No, I haven't.
Okay, he's an anime character, but he's fighting Peter Griffin from Family Guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and in my head I'm like, okay, why? This is just stupid.
Yeah.
And like after that, only thing I was seeing was like a whole bunch of like things involving AI animation or like I don't know, like personally. I agree with you. I feel like a software program can't replicate the beauty and I guess the talent that a human has.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know. Like I'm not saying I'm against AI or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like when it comes to I guess creativity, I don't think AI really has a space. I don't think AI should be kind of welcomed into the space of like of creating or one's own creativity process. Only because I mean like with AI to a certain extent I don't think if you use AI for something, I technically don't really think.
It's like you didn't really create it.
Yeah, like
and it's almost like a laziness.
Yeah,
like, I don't feel like oh you don't feel like writing a script, so you don't feel like paying someone to write a script, so you just like here AI write the script for me.
Yeah,
and the thing is too with AI, especially when it comes to like script writing or something like that, or any type of like creative content. It's really just copying things from other people, but it's just like mixing it up to make it different. But everything is studies. It has to study stuff that actual real people wrote. So in a way, it's like exploiting Hollywood work from like the past 50 plus years, and that's been put in there and it's been studied by the AI so that it knows how to write a script and everything like that. That's just like it's unethical to me to be welcomed into like a professional industry,
same here. I guess touching on the what you said unethical part.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, two parts that infringes on the most, for my morals at least.
Yeah.
For one, I believe that if you're a business and you're really trying to sell out and create something for your fans, you should be willing to pay people what they deserve in order to do a job you want them to do for something that you're more likely not going to be hands-on for. Like, I don't know, like, for example, when the Riot Strike was happening, right? Mm-hmm. It was when Spyverse came, like, Across the Spyverse came out. Yeah. And as people who watch Spyverse would know, the next movie was supposed to come out the following year, I believe.
Sure was.
And because of the Riot Strike, it didn't come out the year afterward, and
still ain't came out.
Yeah, oh yeah, it keeps getting pushed back or what? Like the dates keep changing, and it's just like, okay, look, and especially like when it comes to animation like that, like with the style they do, I know for a fact that's most definitely like tasking work to do, like challenging work to do. Like Hobie, Spiderpunk.
Okay, yeah.
It took them, I think, a few years since the first one to fully get his character render into like the frame.
Yeah, because he had like a different animation style.
Yeah, and the reason he kept changing colors, that wasn't intentional. That was because of the fact that the printer or whatever they used to transfer it just kept on it just kept fucking up. So,
oh wow,
like so. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you should most definitely give people what they're deserving of if you're expecting them to give you their 100%. I also think another point where it kind of gets unethical is like what you said like about how AI is programmed. Like I don't think a lot of people realize AI is really just